Modtricca, back up in this thing, man. Today, I'll be reacting to some creepy videos that'll leave you stunned. Let's get it.
Check this out.
You can like play with the spot. Oh, but yeah, watch this. Just bring it over to us here. Isn't that crazy?
No way.
That's a startup called Reflect Orbital, and they allow you to order sunlight at night from your phone. The way it works is that they have a bunch of mirror satellites in space, and when you order light, they just redirect the light from the sun all the way down to your location on Earth. And it looks like this from your location. And I guess they use this to power solar farms at night, or you could maybe order it if you're lost in the forest. I feel like this video might be a fake demo. I mean, these guys had this video on YouTube 5 months ago where they did the same thing using mirrors in a balloon. But that's by far the craziest idea I've heard this year. It has to be illegal in some way, right? You can't just order sunlight on your friend's house at 3 a.m.
We really live in a time where there's an app for everything. I never thought I would see the day where you can DoorDash the sun.
I don't think it's legit. There's no way, but we'd have to look into it. But
Bill Gates has been confirmed as one of the missing after a luxury yacht has sunk off of the coast of Sicily. This is absolutely wild, and you'll see what I mean in a second. The man I'm talking about is British tech entrepreneur Mike Lynch. He recently won a 13-year legal battle after he sold HP for $11 billion. He was accused of 15 counts of fraud and conspiracy leading up to the sale of this, saying that he artificially inflated the company's numbers, but in June he was finally acquitted. But listen to this. His co-defendant Chamberlain recently passed away after he was fatally struck by a car just a few days before this yacht incident. Timing of all of this is just absolutely wild. But Lynch's wife, she's the one who owned the yacht. She survived along with 15 others, and 6, including Lynch and his 18-year-old daughter, has gone missing after the 184-foot yacht was struck by a storm.
I saw a couple follow-up reports to this where the experts were saying that this particular yacht should be pretty much impossible to sink just due to bad weather alone, and considering the fact that his partner also passed not too long before this, there might be somebody out there that didn't like that they won that fraud case. This is unfortunate.
The toughest questions we get asked and give our answers. One that's come up for a long time is, as we make the world healthier, is the population going to get so big that feeding everybody and maintaining the environment is going to be impossible? The good news is that the faster we improve health, the faster family size goes down. And so we can feel great about saving those lives.
It sounds like he's pushing for less people on Earth, which makes me trust his appeal spray even less. That's probably depopulation serum.
NASA has decided that Butch and Sonny will return with Crew 9 next February, and that Starliner will return uncrewed. And so the decision to keep Butch and Sonny aboard the International Space Station and bring the Boeing Starliner home uncrewed is a result of a commitment to safety. I want you to know that Boeing has worked very hard with NASA to get the necessary data to make this decision. We want to further understand the root causes and understand the design improvements so that the Boeing Starliner will serve as an important part of our assured crew access to the ISS.
If I'm one of the astronauts that's stuck on ISS until February, I'm retiring as soon as they get me back down to Earth. And if the future of our space travel lies in the hands of the Boeing Starliner, then we never leaving lower Earth orbit. Good luck going through the Van Allen belts.
To crack down on social media abuse is being considered by the federal government. For more, Nine's Oliver Haig joins us live in Adelaide. Ollie, how will it work?
Lila, good morning. Essentially, it will work the same as a passport. Australians forced to submit 100 points of identification like their driver's licence or passport when using social media accounts like Facebook and Twitter. Now, police would have access to those social media accounts, and it's all part of a crackdown on online abuse. Now, users could be liable for defamation suits or even criminal prosecution, and it's all part of a plan hoping to deter people from engaging in bad behaviour.
that's straight up from China, 100%.
Now, the recommendations were handed down by a federal parliamentary inquiry. They're reforms that are being considered by the Morrison government, with the chairman saying there is merit to remove to remove the veil of being anonymous. Layla?
We saw a video not too long ago where California is proposing this same thing, and it sounds to me like these are the first steps towards implementing a social credit score where if they don't like what you post online, you won't just be banned from the internet, you'll be shadow banned from society in general.
You're going
Generate sampler. All right, so let's see what happens.
to want to listen to this because you might be living in an alternate universe and have no idea, like I did. And I found out in a very strange way through James Bond. Now, just to explain, my wife and I were rewatching some old James Bond movies, and we got to Moonraker, which was a movie that I saw in the theaters as a kid. And we were rewatching it, and we got to the part where there's this henchman, Jaws. He has these steel teeth, and he and James Bond are fighting on a cable car going down. And I remembered this scene from when I was a kid, and I remember distinctly the car crashes. And in the rubble of the crash, this young woman, she's a little geeky, has pigtails. She comes and sort of sifts through the wreckage, and Jaws gets up, dusts himself off, and he looks at her and he smiles with his steel teeth. And the punchline of the scene, which I remembered, which was so funny, is she smiles back and she has braces. Perfect. Wait a minute. Yeah. I was really blown away. I was really confused. I thought, why would they years later re-edit this, maybe digitally remove the braces, or why would they use a different take without the braces? That was so funny. Well, it turns out there never were braces. That scene never existed in Moonraker. The scene exists, but Dolly doesn't have braces. And I am one of a small amount of the population who remembers the scene with her having braces. This is apparently, when I looked in forums and I did research, is a Mandela effect. For those of you who don't know what a Mandela effect is, it's this phenomenon where a certain portion of the population believes that they experienced something that did not happen.
I'm not over-exaggerating when I say this. I've seen every single James Bond film, if not 3 or 4 times, and real 007 fans know that there were always braces. So now they're just toying with us, man. Let me know what you guys remember about this one.
40 seats. What? They didn't know what they were talking about. We know we're different from the presidential. We're very discreet, reptilian, cold-blooded. These are the races we have to win.
I don't know if that was just the liquor talking and she forgot where she was for a minute, but that's a very odd choice of words to use in that situation. And her friend looked like she was ready to hiss when she said that.
Hey, it's Glam.
David Icke would be jumping in his seat right there. If you guys didn't see it, I just posted a video about David Icke, and it's all about reptilians and stuff. Well, no, the end is about it, but yeah, pretty interesting.
With an unusual observation about Bouvet Island, yes, home of the Blob and fictional location of Alien vs. Predator. Do you remember on June 29th when this happened?
Still kind of chilling Saturday morning, and there's been an earthquake on Bouvet Island. Let's take a look.
I shared how it was a 5.6 earthquake at the somewhat mysterious depth of 10 kilometers. I went on to tell you how Bouvet Island has rare earth elements and an EU anomaly, which is europium used for nuclear reactors and lasers. This led me to tell you how on Skinwalker Ranch they use lasers to attract UAPs. And then I explained how at the South Pole Research Station
They use the same laser, but it's for weather testing.
Well, one of you noticed this.
And measurements.
Did you see that? Let's look again.
But it's for weather testing. And measurements. And measurements.
Did Bouvet Island just wink? I even wrote to the manufacturer of my map, and he said there's no way that should happen, especially given that all the other earthquakes that share the same layer remain visible. I mean, I suppose I feel flattered.
but it's not on the ice. It's 2,000 feet below.
If the manufacturer of the software said that this shouldn't happen, and it's hard for me to believe that this is just another glitch like the blob, and all factors considered, Bouvet Island is starting to look quite harpish.
The actual is this. Please, dear God, someone tell me what this is.
Tyson Foods might want to stop dumping all that toxic sludge into the waters because this looks like a mutant cattail.
Roswell, 1947. What happened?
Roswell, 1947, there was a UAP that crashed. In fact, there were two UAP that crashed, and one flew away while the other one did not, and it was recovered by the U.S. government.
Allegations of a legacy UAP retrieval and reverse engineering program.
The U.S. government has had in the past and continues to have a very deep interest in UAP, to include the potential and possibilities of recovering crashed UAP and reverse engineering them.
We've been recovering spacecraft, alien spacecraft.
The United States has been involved in the recovery of objects, vehicles of unknown origin that are neither from our country or any other foreign country that we're aware of.
Alien bodies, biologics.
We as a nation have been interested in not only the vehicles themselves, but the occupants of these vehicles, to include biological specimens.
Aliens, non-human intelligences, are real, and they have been engaging with humanity.
Ross, we're not alone. We are not alone in this universe, and it is a simple fact. And the U.S. government has been aware of that fact now for decades.
Since he's a former senior intelligence officer, I feel like he might be telling the truth, because I doubt he would want to put his reputation on the line by making false claims. But on the other side, he could be spreading misinformation to distract us from what's actually going on. And I won't believe it until the mothership lands on the...
Yeah, because I do find that investigator is from his name is Lou Elizondo. But the person that was interviewing him, his name is Ross Colehart. He's from Australia, and he's turned into a huge UFO guy the last few years, and he's making a name for himself, like just talking about UFOs. So to me, it's kind of like UFOs are in, so now people aren't getting mocked about it, so people are making a name for themselves, just spreading it. But really, they haven't seen it. They're just being told by government officials that it's true, but this could all be a plan to make people believe that the U.S. has technologies that other governments probably don't, and to make other governments scared. But anyways,
White House lawn.
The fake meat. Please tell me. What can it...
I don't think there's a situation where your meat should ever mush up like this, even if it's spoiled. Making a
like, I would go straight back to the grocery store and say, "What is this? I want my money back, and you shouldn't be selling this."
Turkey and cheese sandwich out of this is a guaranteed trip to the hospital.
Okay, this is a weird one. A pharmaceutical company that's trialing a new groundbreaking age reversal pill had such good results that the local news wanted to run a story on them. But before they even could publish the video, the chairman and CEO... You see, 6 months ago, this 12-year-old German shepherd was near... He had terminal cancer, was operated on, and his prognosis wasn't looking good. The dog's caretaker knew that an age reversal trial was being conducted on dogs, and so she asked if Zeus could be a part of it due to his dire situation. The pill's aim is to lengthen telomere caps on human stem cells, because as part of the aging process, our telomeres shorten, which increases the chance of age-related diseases, and of course...
If you can increase telomeres, you can reproduce stem cells and keep repairing things. so that you can get literally younger.
They said that in their drugs, preclinical data from a previous in vitro human cell study, it showed that the medication lengthened telomeres by almost 200%. Zeus was granted access to the medication in April, and his caretaker said that she saw results almost immediately.
He's doing marvelously. He goes out to our pool and he swims and he has fun and he plays with the tennis ball.
A recent scan showed that the cancer in his body had completely disappeared, and the results were so remarkable that she asked for more to give another 12-year-old dog that could hardly walk due to arthritis. And just last week, she said that he has started galloping and running again. But then, despite all of that, they hit us with this.
And we are sad to report that since this interview was conducted, Dr. Christopher Chapman has recently passed away.
On the company's website, they announced his passing, saying, out of respect and privacy for Dr. Chapman's family, details of the 71-year-old's passing will not be made available. And then added that to support the new chairman and CEO, 3 telomere directors have voluntarily resigned. Human trials for this drug are planned for mid-2025.
It's possible that he passed away from natural causes, but I feel like the family wouldn't have an issue letting that be known if that was the case. And I'm sure there's a lot of powerful people and companies that would be interested in a breakthrough like this.
So 45 of the 46 presidents are all related to each other. But did you know that there's only one celebrity that's related to all 46 presidents? I wonder what that could be. This celebrity is on the flight logs for that famous island. And in fact, I heard that his perversions were so bad that he was actually banned from the island. This guy was actually cleared of all charges last year in some assault scandal stuff. Oh my goodness. You want to know who it is? It's Kevin Spacey. That's right. He's related to all the presidents, not excluding any of them, all 46. Joe Biden's famous kin page is finally up, and I'll show you he's only related to 3 notable people. And there you have it. 3 people. A lady who was a survivor from the Titanic, Christopher Rouse, and Kevin Spacey. It's so interesting that he would be charged with certain things, and he happens to have that royal line, which is what connects him to all the presidents.
Imagine being the only person in that bloodline that didn't become president. Maybe he was spending too much time on that island.
Shopify has impacted our business heavily. It gives us a platform.
Viado, vamos a chavinha dela, viado.
Não, você é doido.
De algum lugar, viado. Não, eu vou pegar e levar pra casa, viado.
Não tem linha não, menino.
Lógico que tem. É via Bluetooth.
Deve ser igual.
Based on the flashing lights, this could be an array of drones, but it looks like one solid object to me, so this might be good UFO footage.
For whatever reason, the WEF have infiltrated the archaeology space and are the ultimate decision makers at what happens in Göbekli Tepe. Now, the CEO of Dogus is billionaire Ferit Sahenk, who has been a loyal WEF boy for quite a while now. This partnership with Dogus and the WEF was announced in 2016, so what progress has been made since then? To start, they added these fancy, ultra-modern roofs and boardwalks around the site to protect it from the elements and promote tourism. Built with super heavy-duty steel beams and foundations that penetrate directly into one of the most important historic sites on Earth, and also appear to be pretty permanent, literally getting in the way of excavating the site further as it's sitting right on top of unexcavated areas, which we know from our radar scans there is much more to see under these. Why on earth would you stick these massive steel foundations and boardwalks into a delicate historic site you're claiming to excavate, damaging it in the process? But oh, that's just the tip, which I do not like. Almost an entire kilometer of walkways and fully paved roads were added to the undug areas on top of the ruins, pouring concrete directly onto the site with plans of replacing some of the wooden walkways with more paved roads. Does any of this seem like temporary tourism awareness to you? And look at this aerial view. Rows of trees planted on the site on top of areas that are highly suspected to have more underneath as per radar scans. The same view from 2004, a whole 10 years after excavations began, shows no trees, almost like they intentionally planted them afterwards. Tree growth has been shown to damage man-made structures, so is this any way to be treating the most important ancient site in the world? We're not even allowed to touch Stonehenge anymore, yet they're pouring concrete, planting trees, and sticking long steel foundations into Göbekli Tepe? If they really wanted to excavate it, isn't this just making the job 10 times harder? Professional archaeologists like this fine lady went there and confirmed herself as a professional that they are, in fact, destroying the site, to which the Turkish government denies all allegations, even outright lying, saying concrete was never used. It was. How on earth can we continue to excavate this site with all this stuff on top of it, all for tourism? Even if so, is that more important than uncovering the secrets of our ancient past? The WEF has billions of dollars and is directing all progress on this site. They could dig it up if they wanted to, so what are they trying to do here? Just try and tell me they're not covering this site up with a straight face.
Because there's a narrative that there used to be more advanced civilization way earlier and all the dates are wrong, and they don't want to upend all the school systems and everything that's being taught. And they've actually been against, like, if you don't know Graham Hancock, he's really, really smart, and he's saying, like, the pyramids are way older than everyone's saying, and civilization used to exist way earlier. Göbekli Tepe is like the original, one of the oldest site known to man, and they're not excavating it, and it's like because they don't want to get to the bottom, and then they carbon date the wood, and it says like 20,000 years, and then it screws all of their theories up, and it upends everything.
I don't see any other reasons for everything they're doing here.
It seems like they might know that further excavations of this site could completely change everything you know about history, so they covered it up, because this is like building a McDonald's over the Great Pyramid. You just don't do it.
This man went missing after posting this. Nobody is safe.
If this is real and they're actually able to control a roach's movements with the microchip, I feel like the Neuralink is capable of the same thing, except it would be Elon controlling you from his iPhone.
So 4D printed steak from Temu. I joke about the Temu part, but this is vegan from Redefined Meat. Look at the logo. Why is the cow upside down? I'm gonna open this, taste it, smell it, cook it. Look at the fillets. It's actually 4D meat juice. You know what? Let me taste it. Am I supposed to be tasting this This is crazy. Honestly, this smells of cardboard. How does this cook? Look at the intermuscular fat. Look at the protein. I'm following the instructions to a T. 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Medium heat, 3 minutes on each side. Actually looks like steak. For best results, slice with grade. Medium rare. It feels like I'm cutting into something meaty though. Still smells like cardboard. Look at the cross section. It's now time for the moment of false. I'm just gonna try it. Oh my god. Texture. Actually spot on. Feels like meat in the mouth. Even chews like meat. There's a toughness to it. This is actually £8. It's not bad. And I thought this would be so much worse.
3D printed meat makes the McDonald's patties look like grade A USDA beef.
Park guests are stuck dangling 200 feet in the air at a Six Flags amusement theme park as a storm rolls in. The whole park shut down, but they couldn't get these people off in time.
Being left on an amusement park ride in the middle of a storm is a little more thrill than I ever want to experience.
This video is called The Wandering Man. It's by TikToker Bets Angel 69. Take a look.
About a month ago, around Easter, I had taken a video of what looked to be like a shadow figure walking around across the street in the woods. And it's looking directly out my front window, so it's a little hard not to notice. I initially took the video to send it to my friend, and she thought it was just super creepy. So I started taking a couple more videos. I posted them on my Facebook so just my friends and family could see. And this went on for days, and he paces back and forth for hours and hours, not just for 20 minutes at a time. This is hours and hours and hours and days, weeks. I mean, here we are a month and a half later, and it's been still there. That's been kind of curious. This is the church that's directly across the street from my house that I was explaining. This is the area where we see that figure. It just walks back and forth every day, all day. Now, I've been over there a couple of times. As I walk up on it, there's just nothing there. Yesterday was Easter. I went over there, but 2 big dogs that were off leash came out, and it was time to go. Then we had the storm, so as soon as we're done with our schoolwork, I will record myself going across the street and show you that as you walk over, you no longer see what appears to be a person pacing back and forth.
I need to see the second half of this video to confirm that it's real, but it looks like Bigfoot pacing back and forth having an existential crisis.
I believe you reach a certain level in Hollywood, and then there's just like the demons, like the Illuminati, the whole people come after you. Do you believe that too, or have you witnessed something like that happening in this industry at all?
Well, I believe that in the supernatural realm of spiritual warfare, there are people that to pick sides. You know, there are people, you know, clearly call it Illuminati, call whatever you want, but there is the spirit of this world, and the Lord of this world is Satan, according to what I believe. So with that in mind, you can do a deal with him to have all the pleasures of this world, you know, because that way you're lifting him up and all that good stuff. But yeah, so I believe that some of that is relevant and prevalent.
I agree with him about the fact that something like the Illuminati exists, but he's going to have to clarify what he means by according to what I believe.
What do you mean by that? I'm here to sell you something.
In a way that we think
is cool.
Female Masons that were very prominent, of course, Helena Petrovna Blavatsky, founder of the Theosophical Society, Annie Besant, Alice A. Bailey, and Alice A. Bailey, her husband, was Foster. He was a 32-degree Freemason and part of Co-Masonry. They started a publishing company known as Lucifer Trust, which they later changed to Lucis Trust. This is Helena Petrovna Blavatsky. This one over here is Alice A. Bailey. And these are the ones who wrote down the secret of the secret doctrines. Of course, once they achieved the highest degrees, then they would have to be male. So Annie Besant is known as Brother Annie Besant, 33-degree Freemason. The same in the Egyptians. If a female pharaoh became pharaoh, then she was male. So Hatshepsut, for example, is figured with a beard, because you had to be an honorary male. You can't be the reincarnation of the sun god if you're a female. So Co-Masonry, Annie Besant, and all these high Masons, Alice A. Bailey, High Priestess of the New Age movement, received messages from a Tibetan known as Dwal Kul. On her writings, you will find, of course, the Masonic symbols. And these are her writings. And, of course, Blavatsky is the one who wrote Isis Unveiled, Secret Doctrine, and all of these mystic Masonic books, which are virtually impossible to get hold of, although these days you can, if you search, find them.
I always thought that the Freemasons were solely comprised of men, but if this is true, there's probably some prominent women that are current members today. And if I had to guess off the top of my head, I would say Brother Oprah Winfrey and Brother Hillary Clinton might be members.
Now, time traveling is something that's not supposed to exist, but what if I told you that there is enough video and picture evidence may actually prove that it was already achieved at some point in time, maybe in the future, maybe in the past? In this video, for instance, recorded in the 1980s, we can see a woman holding what looks like an iPhone. She appears to be recording something, and then afterwards, she's watching what she recorded. This is insane. Now remember that the first official LED phone that actually looked like this was invented by LG, and it was named Prada. It was released in 2006. So this is not an LG Prada. This has to be something else entirely. In this colorized video from the 1930s recorded in Amsterdam, we can see a woman coming out of a shop. She's clearly holding something that looks like a phone, and she appears to be talking to someone. Now remember that the first mobile phone was invented in the 1970s. Strange, isn't it? But it doesn't stop there. This black and white video from the 1930s of a woman clearly holding something in her hand, something that looks like a mobile phone, and she's talking to someone through it. So what's going on here? Then you got this famous video from the 1990s where you can see a woman recording the Mike Tyson fight.
Prior to present, Touch the motto once told them your greatest asset can become your greatest weakness.
I've seen that one, and they figured it out. It was actually a camera that could record. Yeah, it's a camera.
She appears to be recording the fight with an iPhone or something like that.
I mean, the only one of those videos that looked truly convincing to me was the Mike Tyson clip. It looked like she was filming on the Samsung Galaxy.
See the wire under the blue shirt.
Like one. Thank you to
the other. We have a beautiful...
Reaching, talking, and looking down like something is wrong.
Our beautiful planet. It's the most beautiful planet in the whole solar system.
Chamatoff and Greg Johnson, obviously they're...
Again, looking down.
Andrew Feustel is there. Why don't you pass the microphone to him?
So we don't need to...
Look at his posture. He has that machine around him and he's stuck.
Trinkets with you.
Here's where they do a group backflip and the guy in blue gets stuck upside down.
I think we can do that, right?
This then causes the guy in red to press an invisible button at the right-hand side of the room. You can then hear the machine working and attempting to untangle him.
That's certainly not as graceful.
I gotta
Keep your eyes on the guy in
You're
red.
having some fun up there. You're not going to the Olympics with that. Keep the
Watch. Listen as he presses the button. You can hear the machine.
Yeah, Miles.
Watch the replay and see the wire under the blue shirt.
Like one. Thank you to.
It's being pulled by the machine.
Yeah, Miles, and I'll send you one of these bracelets.
Untangling wire.
Thank you to all of you very much. Appreciate your time. I know you got a busy.
He's
mission
completely
ahead. You got
stuck.
the spacewalk ahead, and thanks to all of you for your time.
Yeah, Miles, and I'll send you one of these bracelets.
If they really are faking these broadcasts, then they should probably check the harnesses before they attempt the full backflip. These are worse special effects than you would see in a Tubi movie. But that was the video, guys. Don't forget to sub up, hit that notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Yeah, I love this guy. You guys should definitely follow him. Modtricca. Super good. All his videos are amazing. But yeah, that's it. Peace out.